I do believe that there's nothing greater than being able to do the thing you are most passionate about. And I think that if you're blessed and you're able to make the most money that way, and I actually think I'm in that category, well then that's like nirvana. But I do think that a lot of people should consider, I am of the camp, and you know what, that's the question of the day. Where do you sit in this camp? In the comments, let's sit on this one. Where do you sit in this camp? Here is my theory, that if you make $130,000 a year doing something you don't love as much or at all, versus making 89 and loving it, that you should always go with B. Now, people could say that's easy for you to say because I have student loans, because I have all these other headaches. I have a weird thesis that 89, because you're so happy and you're willing to work 18 hours a day, becomes 131 over time, and 130 becomes fired or flat forever. I really do believe that passion works out that way, and I'm not a secret. I'm not Oprah. I'm not like sunshine and rainbows, especially not after the fucking Jets miss an extra point and lose by 1 point. I just think it's practical. I just think being happy brings a better energy and a work ethic. Listen, I don't know if you've heard, I believe in work. And I believe the easiest way to work is to fucking love it. And so, you know, I think, Jenny, you should go with your passion. I just don't think that it's practical for everybody. I think a lot of people's passion is to become the biggest rapper in the world. I think a lot of people's passion is to become a supermodel. I think a lot of people's passion is to become a professional athlete or the next great director or this and that. I think people are completely tone deaf to their actual skill sets, and they make up ludicrous, unachievable goals, which then means the blueprint is broken from the get, which means they have no shot at victory. So I think if your passion is to be the greatest rapper in the world, you should deploy some self-awareness around, maybe your passion should be being around the greatest rappers in the world if you have no flow, you know? So anyway, I don't know, I think there's a lot of things, Jenny. I think self-awareness, I think recognizing you only live once, realizing how much regret is poison, and just really, Jenny, I'll give you a really good answer. Try your passion. I'll give everybody a good answer. Try your passion for 2 years. What's gonna happen? Your debt's gonna compound? It's not the end of the world. I mean, you can always get practical. You can always get practical.
Gary, what's your best advice for a 19-year-old who's at uni, doesn't know what to do after it, doesn't know her passion?
Mary, that's a very common question. I get it every day, especially as I've grown on Instagram and it skews young or has historically. You know, my big advice is one, entrepreneurship is so cool right now and everybody puts it on pedestal. Everybody wants to quit school or not go. And listen, as anybody who follows me closely, I'm no advocate of uni either, but I think you need to put things into context. First of all, Mira, you're gonna live another 6 lives. Like with modern medicine, it's very likely you're gonna live 6 more lives. That's just absurd. So when you actually understand that, it takes away a lot of the pressure. Mira, the biggest issue right now in society is that somehow we've created this narrative that 18 or 22 or 30-year-olds need to have their shit figured out. Most 57-year-olds don't have their shit figured out. And so the pressure that you have to figure it out is ludicrous. Of course you don't know what your passion is. You haven't even fucking lived yet. So my biggest advice is take advantage of this vacation, right? Navigate through it so they don't kick you out, and take as many weird courses, go to as many weird things, like try shit. Like you don't know if your favorite food is oysters if you've never had one, right? So you have to go do shit.
Is it fair to say? And it's fair to say, I mean, if you're 19, you've got the opportunity to fail. It doesn't matter.
You have the opportunity to fail if you're 91. Like, we'll get into that at some point. Failure's awesome, and somehow people have gotten confused. The only reason I am standing here, foundational, no question, is because I failed so much as a kid. I didn't speak English, so I was picked on. I wasn't 6'4", so I didn't win most sporting events. I failed every fucking class. My entire childhood was failing. I was a salesman, so I used to knock on doors and try to sell flowers, and 90 out of 94 people said no. I fucking love failure.
Ben.
I do. Like if I loved, being an architect more than anything in life, and that's what I gravitated to, Legos and drawing when I was 6, 7, 9, 12, 13, instead of selling lemonade and selling flowers and selling baseball cards, then I would just be talking about becoming the greatest, architect of all time. And that wouldn't have made me trillions, and that would have made me successful and rich, and I get it, but or very honestly, if I was wired, by the way, and this is why you like me so much, if I didn't have the DNA of a salesman and an entrepreneur, I would be a guidance counselor.
Right.
I live for, do you know how much money I leave on the table by giving you this, by doing what I'm doing right now? I'm leaving a lot of, and by the way, it's not because I'm such a great guy, it's because hearing you say that in the beginning of this call is a greater high for me than any deal I've ever closed in business. And that's not even close, by the way. Having another human being tell you that you're having a positive impact on their life, I promise you this, you're not coming to my funeral because I made $1.7 trillion in my career. You're coming to my funeral because I might have made you $1,700 more and tweaked you in a place where you had 49 more years of happiness. The biggest reason people don't go all in is they're spending shit on clothes, cars, homes, vacations that don't let them go all in. So many people here are unhappy because they bought things to impress others that they don't even like. And so they're stuck in their jobs they can't get off because it's just like running a P&L. It's very easy to be happy, and almost everybody can go all in and do something at any time if they're just willing to live at home, or if they're willing to live with 9 other people. I mean, so Ben, I think the quickest you can take costs, most people try to save, have a year, and then go. I'm trying to get people to cut costs. Live in a shittier apartment, which costs you $700 less a month. I'm unbelievably passionate lately around homes and cars and transportation. People are buying things to keep up with the Joneses that keep them away from happiness. People are always like, what's my passion? What do I like to do? I'm like, I don't know. If you only eat pizza and hot dogs, how do you not, know if, foie gras or sushi or lemon soup is your favorite food of all time? I don't know where lemon soup came from. But, are you in a place where you can go and try doing different things? And if you can't, go get a 9-to-5 job that pays your basic life away and then spend your 5:30 p.m. to midnight tasting other things in startup land or internships. That's the actual practical answer to solve this question. Where you go when you don't know what you want to do is you have to try to do things. I mean, it's not super complicated. So if you've got a trust fund, or if you've saved some money, or if you're living, ghetto and don't give a shit and live with 11 roommates and, and can afford to just cancel it out, what you gotta do is you gotta go and try things. You gotta try operations, you gotta try sales, you gotta try all these different things. That's really just the only option out there. And so you've gotta put yourself in a position, whether being humble and ghetto, to go and try things, or maybe you're in a luxury spot where you can go and do that. It's really the only way. You're not gonna find out by guessing. This is a tricky one, and I think about it a lot because, one, a lot of people use this as an excuse not to do, right? To me, really, honestly, the very easy answer is pick one. You're not gonna know how it would have turned out anyway. Literally every day, I have 600 ideas of new businesses. When I transitioned from Wine Library to VaynerMedia with my brother, there was so many things we thought about doing. I don't think back to the fact that we basically were gonna do a deal of the day site like Groupon and Living Social, which probably would have been successful. I don't think back, the biggest, closest thing besides VaynerMedia that AJ and I were close to back in 2009 was to go into fantasy sports. That would have been right too, right? I could have just wrote Crush It and just spoke and built a personal brand that would have been very lucrative. So Pete, I'll be honest with you, I'm concerned that this is more a disguise. Like even if you read how it says, I have so many that will work, right? Like people always come to me, they're like, Gary, I have 17 great ideas. I'm like, great, dick, pick one. Like if they're all so great, pick one and be happy when it succeeds and then recognize, Pete, how old are you? 30? Brother, you can do fucking 6 of them. Right? So do one from 30 to 39, sell it or put a management team in, and then at 39, whatever the new ideas are, just pick one. Like crippling, you have to figure out if it's insecurity that you like to put up a facade and you don't want to actually go on the field and prove it, or is it just like indecisiveness, which is already a tell that you might struggle running a business, so you just have to pick one and go. Period. Get into the practice of it. What do you like when you're not working? Build a business around that. Like, what do you like? Yeah, I mean, like, I gotta tell you right now, this whole Vayner Sports thing, I'm getting scared. I might shut it all down. I'm in love with it. Having these football players sit at VaynerMedia, John Toth yesterday, offensive lineman center for Kentucky, he's gonna be on the Packers in 6 months. It's the weirdest thing. Alvin Kamara is gonna rush for 137 yards on a Sunday, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's my dude. Like, it's crazy, and I love it. And watching AJ's happiness, he's not gonna make anywhere close to as much money as he did at VaynerMedia, but watching the happiness in his heart, like, what do you like? Surfing? What do you like? Like t-shirts? What do you like? Hip hop? Like, what do you like? Patience, brother. Keep doing good, keep bringing people value, and don't think about what's in it for you. What's in it for you will happen when you are purely pushing to bring people value. Shit just happens.
Hell yeah.
And you've got time, brother. You've got 5 years. Do me a favor. Don't try to charge $1,000 a head or $500 a month. Do this. Just keep bringing value. And I'm telling you, for 5 years, online, offline, random, just keep bringing value. It will work itself out. You got a lot of time to cash in on doing that good move.
How do I document the humble process when I want to project a high-end image? Paint the garage.
Andre, because I think you need to actually understand that that truth is real. Like faking it till you make it doesn't work. Like Vera Wang, first place where she was making dresses was a shitty place. Like, because you have to realize that wherever you're producing or the journey you're going through has no impact on the product that you're making. And so I think it actually makes people associate with you. I think what you're doing, and I see it a lot with high-end fashion or high net worth categories, is you're looking backwards. What I mean by that is everybody's looking at what used to work. And so the Anna Wintour Vogue kind of fashion show, but that's yesterday. The biggest reason most people won't win in here is they over-respect the past and they demonize the current. Got it? So I think high fashion, the authenticity of your life from here to the Met Gala in 7 years, if you put that on documentation, you'll have unlimited leverage. Do you know how much leverage I'm creating for who I'm actually going to be in 31 years? Of course. That's exactly what you think. But I don't believe that to be true. The people in the middle may think it's lower. These people don't give a fuck. If you make an amazing dress, it's an amazing dress. The establishment gives a fuck. Got it? And that's what the internet took away. The people at the schools, the universities, the fashion magazines, the taste makers. You know how pumped I am that most 22-year-olds don't give a fuck about Anna Wintour as much as they did 10 years ago? It's no dig on Anna. She just represents the middle. Do you know how, back to why I love this country so much, because I was such a big advocate of its wines when I was a kid? Do you know how pumped I am that the Wine Spectator and Robert Parker don't control the market in the US anymore? The internet does. Got it? So, Cloudy Bay exploded in America because of one critic, which is amazing, and it's a great wine, it's fine, but it's also why others didn't. So when the masses control the game instead of one or two people, that's a far more exciting thing. You're looking backwards at what worked. Going forward, I believe the people that actually document their journey from working at a retail store to eventually becoming the biggest fashion icon in the world, who's the creative director of Louis Vuitton, right? The game's changing. It's changing right in our face. You have to pay attention to how that's playing out.